sometimes when we communicate, words just doesn't our words just doesn't really um, understood by others at times. Like for example, we say that, "Hey, can you lend me a hand?" They may interpret that as like actually giving a hand, not like an expression for asking for help. So, uh, to in order to handle those kind of situations, there is this thing called cognitive principles. What are those? Well, it's principles that are made in order for us to communicate better and more effectively. Just like from earlier, to handle cases like earlier, I mean. So, it is a concept introduced by Paul Grice, and how it works is that he proposed four things he called as maxims. There are four maxims. The first is maxim of quantity, which is about how much information do you need to tell, or rather simply, how much words do you need to uh, say something to someone. For example, like, uh, hey, can you help me? It's as short as it is. We and it is already as effective as it is. We don't need to put more quantity into such thing. For example, hey, would you perhaps would like to give me something to aid me? Would you perhaps in favor of giving me an act of something that can support my endeavor? That's just too much. There's no need for any of those. Just simply the right amount of information. And the next is maximum of quality. Maximum quality is like um, the how not how good because it says quality, but rather it's about whether or not your words, your message is a lie or true, whether it is a fact or not fact. So what it means that basically are you lying or not? For example, when asked, hey, can you help? Can you give me help? Or can you help me, for example? When asked that, and then you respond with, no, I can't because blah 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 blah. For example, the blah 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 is like, my dog ate my homework. Is that really it? Is that did that really happen? So the maximum quality is like whether or not whether or not you should really tell it, or whether or not you you get into something like it's like whether you lie or whether you told the right thing. If you don't want to help, you don't need to make up stuff. So, and then the next is the maxim of I forget the other. I think was it um I think this one is first. The maxim of manner relation. Let's go with relation first. Maxim of relation. Whether or not something you say is relevant to what you're about to say. For example, uh, hey, can you help me? For example, and the respondent say, oh yes, sure. With what? Then you say that, oh yeah, my cat is a cat, or or, or that you say something like, oh hey, I read something yesterday. Is that it, look? He agreed with what helping you something, right? So he asked, what help do you need? What what does telling like your cat is a cat or that you drank something yesterday have something to do with what you need for help, right? It needs to be relevant. It needs to be like something that fits with the topic, the conversation. The next is maximum of manner. How the manner of how you tell the information. It uh it kind it kind of makes with maximum of quantity, but Maxim of manner is more of like, are you telling this clearly or not? Are you telling this ambiguously? Why? For example, you need something, you need something, for example, you need help with your homework, but you respond with what it says that, so, yesterday our professor gave us something that questions our life, right? Questions our decisions at life, questions at why did we get here? Is your response to the question about how do you mean? I mean, sure, you're like hinting about homework. The homework is given by the professor, but what's with the ambiguity? What's with the all these big words, the mumbo jumbo? Like just tell them that you need. So you understand. I think I hope you understand why there's maxims now, because like if these things aren't really um, put into theory like this, even though it should be common sense, it should be clear, but of course there's still people like uh, like those, the ones that the words using the words that I used before, saying those things like why? So yeah, this maxim exists so that it can help communication basically. And then with uh, with cooperative principles, there's also something called im- implications. Basically, um, this is what if that these maxims may not be understood by the the other communicator, or that they do use the maxim, but it still isn't as effective as it is. For example, wait, no, before we go to explore, implicatures means implication. It means the thing that is, or the meaning, the message that is implied behind what is said. It's like the very beginning, the very introduction of pragmatics. This is what pragmatics is about. For example, like, hey, it's hot in here. They are saying that the room is hot. That is what they are saying. That is their words. But what are they trying to communicate? What message are they trying to send? What does it imply? It so implicatures is about something like that. Uh, the guy the person who said that the room is hot earlier may be implying that someone needs to turn on the air conditioner or open the window or turn on the fan, for example. I mean, then comes the question: why don't they just use the maximum? Why don't they just clearly, with clarity, with actual relevance, that say just ask, hey, can someone do something that makes the room not hot? Like, hey, can someone um, turn on the AC, open the window, or turn on the fan? Why don't they just tell them? Well, see, uh, Paul Grice, while he introduced cooperative principles as like to help communication, it that unfortunately it helps, but it still has drawbacks. There's still criticisms in how it works. For example, uh, cooperative principles really generalize. It doesn't really cover aspects like cultures, societal norms, or something that's like really not really general, something that is like niche, something that is specific. It doesn't cover stuff like that. So this is why there are some people who may not be able to speak or speak with full clarity, speak what they really want to intend. Something that is like maybe called like indirect manner of speech, passive speech, something like that in cross culture. So this is why there's this thing called implication. things that is study stuff like that. Another example would be like you are sorry. Well, you must be found at parties. See, that may sound like a compliment. However, if you if you're someone who's like short-minded, you may uh, you may catch the passive aggressiveness, the sarcasm in it. That's also part of implicators, also part of the specific things, the cultural things that some group may use that they really don't intend to um, insult, but I mean, of course, we can hold hatred. So indirectly, they said that. Yeah, so it helps with kind of things like that as well. So I guess I took too long, but I hope this is enough because I guess that's all I can say. Thank you for listening.